Okay, so we're back to talk about some of these things. And let me just go to the Hartnell website for starters. So here's the Hartnell research resources. If you go to just www.hartnell.edu/library, you will get to the library's main page. And on the left-hand column, you click on research resources and it takes you here. Now, where do I like in here? I like Academic Search Complete and EBSCOhost, very similar tools. ProQuest newspapers can be useful for some things. You're not as likely to find things for this class, but it can be worth a look. And Science Direct. Those are the ones I think you're better off looking. I'm going to just show you Academic Search Complete. And it's going to say, wait a minute, who are you? This is not a Hartnell computer, and we pay for this. So you have to put in your student ID number. And you don't need a password. You just put in your student ID number. And if your student ID number is active, it will take you to the search engine. And no, I don't need to save that. And so I might be looking for irrigation and lettuce, and maybe I'm looking for papers on irrigation methods to reduce sclerotinia. Now, I've already thought about this. I've already done some research, so I know what sclerotinia is. I could have done it without sclerotinia and just see what comes up. And maybe I'm not going to find anything. I'm going to apply related words in the search modes, and I'm going to also search within the full text of the articles. I think that's really important to make sure that you get all the papers that you might get. If you don't click these two boxes, you might not get everything that you want to find. I also want to limit my search to full text. What does this full text mean? Full text means only give me back articles in the results that EBSCOhost or Academic Search Complete actually has the whole article. Don't give me back just a reference, because they do have a whole large list of references for journals that don't allow us to get the article. You got to then go to the journal and get it, and maybe pay for it. And it's really annoying for classes to find the perfect article and start reading the abstract. That's perfect. You go to download the article. It's like, where's the download button? There is no download button. You got to find it. For professional use, I always leave this full text unchecked down here in the the left-hand side. I leave it unchecked because I want to know for professional purposes if an article exists. If it's hard to find, if I have to go to a librarian or I have to pay for it, so be it. At least I know it exists, and if I want it bad enough, I'll find it. But for a class assignment, just don't give yourself the headache. Click on full texts. I also want to make sure, where did it go? They moved it. Interesting, they changed the way they do this. There used to be a link there saying peer review. Oh, there it is. Ha! It used to be over here. Now it's over here. I've got a new browser, maybe that's why. Scholarly peer-reviewed journals. I also checked that one. It used to be over here on my other computer. So I've checked all of those boxes that are important, all three of these and both of these, leaving this one unchecked. Now you can try it without scholarly peer-reviewed as well, because I'm not as strict in this class, but I want you to get some science papers, not just some garbage .com type papers. So I've got 71 results, and by looking at these papers and clicking on them, I can get some important information and maybe change ideas. My goal here, step one, you find at least three, if not five papers that are somehow related to your story, that have at least some information you could include in your story. And that way, you've got papers. You know you found a story that you can write about. What frustrates me is that students will find a topic by pure imagination. They go, "Wow, this sounds like a good idea." And it sounds like a good idea. And some students have even talked to me about it. It's like, that sounds like a good idea. Make sure their paper's out there first, uh, because then they get to the point where there's only a couple of weeks left to write the paper. And they come to me, I don't find any papers that are on point, not papers that are good enough to support my topic. I need to start over. You don't want that. Find papers first. So let's say I find a good paper. I can click on this paper and here it is coming up. There it is. So I can find out the details of the authors and I can read the abstract to find out if it really is something that sounds like I could use it. Some of these science papers are going to sound really dense. That's okay. Practice reading science papers. I can save it, cite the paper. That's a nice one. I can export it or create a link for it. I can put it on my Google Drive. I can email it to myself, whatever. So let's say cite. Click on that cite button, and this little window pops up, and I scroll down to MLA. There it is. And here's my citation. That's the nice thing about working here on the Academic Search Complete or Science Direct or EBSCOhost. They will give you the citation, uh, and all you have to do is copy that information and paste it into your paper. Sometimes the formatting gets a little screwed up, and you got to massage the formatting in your Word document. Um, and I can download the entire PDF of the paper right there. Bingo, everything you need. So look, look, look. Another link is the ipm.ucdavis.edu site. And you can even go to that webliography in the modules course home section for general content. And the webliography web links has not only these two, but also some other sites you might look at. So let's say I'm looking at pests and diseases. So I want agricultural pests and diseases. So I click on agricultural and it's thinking about it. It's thinking about it very slowly. Interesting. There, oh, error. Well, there might be some sort of a network problem going on at their site, which is unfortunate right now. But when I go there, um, they will have a list of plants, lettuce and almonds and chicory and whatever else they have in their research database. I'll just go to home garden and turf since it's not coming up. But fruit trees, nuts, berries, and grapevines. All right. So I want to look at apples. I want to do my project on apples. I have invertebrate pests like aphids. So these would include insects and non-insect pests. And here's some diseases like fire blight. So now I've got a whole host of pest and disease issues from this IPM site. Not sure what's going on with their site for the agricultural ones, if it's my link or they're doing some maintenance here on a Sunday. But again, very, very good site to look at. You could also go to our next door neighbor from the AliSal campus, the USDA. Oh, post-harvest. They're temporarily unavailable there. Crazy. Anyway, not going to worry about it. There's just so many different places you could consider going in order to look at possible ideas for your paper. And of course, Hartnell changed that link. I'm going to have to go hartnell.edu/library. I'll have to change that link for you. Hartnell, oops, I didn't get that second L in there. How to cite information. Here it is right here. Hartnell.edu, how to cite information. And it's MLA. So here is the online writing laboratory for information on doing in-text citations, and then general formatting rules. They're the same site. They're just two links to the same page. So hopefully that's enough to get you started. The first assignment regarding this term paper is picking a topic and showing me you have papers. We'll get to that shortly, but you need to start working on it now.